Welcome back to another show and tell video. Today we're going to look at a ZIPPO lighter, and ZIPPOs of course have been around for quite some time with various iterations of designs, physical designs, as well as ornamentation as to decorations and engravings, inlays, materials used, and other art added to the exterior of the lighter itself. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one particular example. This is an example of the plastic case that new lighters come with. You can see ZIPPO USA lighter at the top, lifetime guarantee. It kind of opens like a display clamshell, and actually in the back here we can see ZIPPO Manufacturing Company, Bradford, Pennsylvania, zip code, and USA. And the lightning area here, just the recess for the body of the lighter. And normally you can see there's actually a groove here and a groove here. This is where the instructions would be. You can see how that tucks under there and tucks under there. I already previously removed it just to make it a little bit easier to get to later. So let's go ahead and open this. The nature of this clamshell being diagonally cut allows it also to be displayed vertically like that. So you can actually have a whole line of these on a counter, let's say, as a display, or as a actual, collection display on a mantle, shelf, whatever horizontal surface that will support, at least this distance here for the floor plate of the display. So let's go ahead and pull this out. You can see how that's kind of like a little cradle for the lighter. Pulls that like up, put this to the side. And this particular one has the decoration for the comic series Milk and Cheese. And you can see there, dairy products gone bad. You can see they got the kind of growling faces there. Burn Baby Burn, and Evan Dorkin 95. So this is the art is from 1995. If you look at the bottom of the lighter itself, sorry for the reflections. Let's see if I can get this to focus there a little bit better. It's tough, but it says ZIPPO, Bradford, PA, made in USA, and the date codes are E and XII. And if you go ahead and look on the ZIPPO website, they have a specific date code page, and it helps you interpret the various date codes that have evolved over the decades. So this would be the month. I believe this would be May of 1996, which makes sense since the design was made in 95. So ZIPPO lighters will open from right to left. Hinge point, 5-portion hinge, so the hubs, let's say, for the axle are on the bottom and 2 on the lid. And we have the little spring kind of locking mechanism there, and you can see the vertical recess running right down there that houses that, which allows it to spring open. And that housing would maintain this in this position when closed, thus forcing, giving it a preference to force open. You can see in this position you can't close the lighter. It has to be this way. Pretty simple. Lid's a lid. The bottom is basically a housing for the internal portions of the lighter, which slide out. It's a very snug fit on this one. Let's see. It's just basically a vessel for the internals. So let's go ahead and set this down. This one has been dry for a while, so I'm not too concerned about handling it, but you should either handle these with gloves, let's say, or make sure to thoroughly clean your hands after handling, because you don't want, basically, even beforehand, you don't want to transfer your oils too much to the externals to affect the finish, unless you don't care, but you don't want to also contaminate yourself with any of the chemicals involved with either cleaning or filling this with fuel. So if we actually look at the lettering that's on both sides, I can read this here. For best results, use ZIPPO flints and fluid. Sorry, I'm having trouble with these reflections. ZIPPO, and then MFG for manufacturing company, CO, Bradford, PA, that's Pennsylvania, made in ZIPPO USA, and again EXII. You also have a date code there. This side is the warning, safety warnings, keep away from children. After filling, wipe lighter, hands before, and hands, so there's an ampersand there, before igniting. So you want to wipe this external down because you don't want any flame to travel down the body and then back into here, otherwise this will not extinguish otherwise. Lighter does not self-extinguish. Close lid to put it out, because that will literally snuff out the air source. See, it has the windproof cuts on the top. Here is your striker wheel. In the gap underneath the striker wheel and this little vertical nub will be the protrusion of the flint itself, which runs down an kind of a tube, and here is actually the screw that locks it into the tube with a kind of a spring and plunger detent. Here we have the thick material which encloses the cotton fuel area. So this actually says lift to fill, so you can lift that and then use your fill bottle to soak the cotton. Don't overfill, usually only a partial enough to dampen the cotton inside or the synthetic material inside, whichever has been used, to provide the fuel source for the wick that comes up the middle up here. This one has been dry for a while, and also the flint needs replacing, so this will not actually freely rotate because it's locked up against the detent right now. And let's see if you can actually see that detent pushing up, but it may also, yeah, it's definitely that. I can see it right there. You can't at this angle because of the shadows. But you get a pretty good view of all the air passage holes there. Finish is in pretty good shape on this one too, because this one has only been used a few times in cycle, but enough to actually use up the initial flint. So if we put this back in, of course, I'll put it in the right way. It should slide all the way down to the bottom, and you should be able to close it and have a nice clean seam. And that's ready to get work done. Put it back in the case, and that's how it goes in there. If we take a quick look at the instructions, it has a little bit of dirt from being stored. We got our warnings in red. A little bit of a blurb there. You can see how it keeps folding. Here at the bottom we have the ZIPPO guarantee, and then we have filling instructions, reflinting instructions. Always use general fluid, flints and wicks. Trimming the wick. Zip its lit. Here's an example of a fluid bottle. And then in various languages, avertissement, précaution, von Kindern fernhalten, Sicherheitshinweis. And then more instructions on the other side. So, ready for export. Start back up like that, and then normally again would be stored back here. So again, this has been another show and tell video. Again, this one particular example of a ZIPPO lighter. Feel free to research the many thousands of designs and other patterns of ZIPPOs. Feel free to check out other show and tell videos on the channel. We also do unboxing videos, as well as a selection of book review, media reviews, and a series of curios for the curious, videos on more artsy type objects. Feel free to check all those out. Feel free to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. See you next time.